Alright, so let me see if I can look down over here. I don't know how I'm gonna look down over here. Because I can't really see myself too much, like the glare. You know what I'm saying? So let me just, I don't know. I don't know about hello. So, I hope everybody can see me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so, what I was saying about my sister, Jeanette, was a lot of harsh things to say. I mean, that's my blood. That's my family. That's my sibling. That's just that's my dear sister who I love a lot. I love my sister a lot. She knows that. If she listens to all these stark messages that I have to say about her, I'm sure that she has a lot of stark things to say about me. And I disagree with a lot of those things. And that's just all there is to it. I have my life here. Look at this store I have over here, man. You gotta be kidding. I have, look at all those items and soap and coffee and milk, and then we're gonna get some more supplies today and stuff, and in this room is gonna be redecorated and refurnished and things like that. And B is gonna be an actual store. Now I don't know if this is gonna be the actual store, so I'll take that back. Maybe I'm gonna make another room outside of this house, attached to this house, and that will be the store, But for now, this is the store slash kitchen, So, but I have a lot of harsh things to say about a lot of people. And that's why I'm not in the Philippines because I was lonely. I was lonely after my mother died. I didn't go to the Philippines in 2012. I didn't go to the Philippines in 2013. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't go to the Philippines in 2014, 15, 16, 17. It's only when, I was talking to Reese in 2018 that I went to the Philippines. Here. So I was lonely when my mother died in 2012. Around May, I started being lonely in May 17th. You know, I really made the 18th because my brother came to be with me on the 17th. My sister didn't come to be with me. I didn't see her phone number in my mother's book or anything like that. We didn't even look for her. I mean, she was my sister was like dead and buried in the family. Metaphorically speaking, of course. So we didn't have any contact. It was a person that we couldn't rely upon for nothing. She's always saying, "Well, Angelo, what did you do with my life? Are you crazy? You want to list?" I went to live with my sister to help my sister put food on her table and on my table. I went to work at We Transport Bus Company in Long Island, in Hempstead, Long Island, in 1986 when I was 21 years old. I don't even think I was 21 yet. I think I was just 20. 'Cause my birthday's in July. But regardless of that, I mean, she only had Tasha at the time, but she had nothing. She had nothing in her counters, nothing. And then I went to there to bring a little bit of stability and you know food on her in her counters in her shelves. And I used to transport. I used to go from Far Rockaway. I used to go to Hempstead from Far Rockaway on Long Island Railroad. I think it was like one or two trains or whatever it was. Every Sunday to go to Jeanette's house to stay there for the week, and then on a Friday or whatever it was, I would hop on a train to visit my mom and be with her for a couple of days and do the same thing every week until I left the job. You know. So she wasn't complaining then. And then I went to Jackson Avenue, and she used to live in the Bronx with Savannah and Tasha. And then, I went and took about like 2 or 3 trains to the Bronx to Jackson Avenue, the third stop after the tunnel. After the tunnel of the 4 or 5 line, whatever the case may be. And I think the 6 goes through there also, the 6 train, but I'm not sure. Forgot about that. And then I brought some stuff for her and stuff like that. Clean whatever I can clean. Was for her and Tasha and I think Savannah at the time. And she didn't complain then. And when I cleaned the disgusting house that she had, man, it was a dirty, rotten house. And you had cocky, you had it all over the place, in the bathroom and the toilet. And I cleaned that out. And then threw that stuff out in the yard because Jeanette didn't do it. And then it was infested with white cockroaches. It wasn't even brown or black cockroaches or whatever it was. It was white. Tasha couldn't even go to the bus in the morning. They were laughing at her because she couldn't. She had to climb out the window. She couldn't even leave through the front door. But she chose that life. She chose the life of people who smoke pot and weed, and people who weren't straight. And she says, oh, I never had any brothers. I never had any family. No, you chose that life. You chose to leave. You chose to become pregnant at an early age. You chose that life of pothead and weed smoking people and drinking and smoking yourself and stuff like that, and making your lungs black as tar. You chose that. You chose that life. You didn't choose us. You chose that. You chose potheads. You chose a person who shot bullets up in the sky. David. The father of two of your kids. And you had six kids from three different fathers. Guys. So you chose that life. You chose to be a rebel. You chose to be the black sheep of the family. And someone saying, we didn't choose that. Me and Fernando left later in life, not in 1983. He left in 1989. We disagreed with that, but Fernando was always in contact. We always visited Fernando. We always spent New Year's with him, or not New Year's, but Christmas and Thanksgiving and birthdays and all that stuff, and Mother's Day. Fernando always was there. Always. I'm not saying that we never had any arguments. I'm not even saying that we never even had any fist fights, because that's a common thing between brothers. But Fernando was always there, always there. You chose not to be there. You chose to be the bitch of the family. You chose that life. I left mom when I was 30. I think it was like 35 or 36 years old. You left when you were 19 because you wasn't content. And then you left a clean apartment, a clean bed for garbage. That's what you left. You had your own room. You slept in your room with us. We was under the same room. And you was fat like a cow eating 3 hot dogs a day. Come on, man. Get off of it, Jeanette Quinones. You know what I mean? You chose that life. You chose to be a rebel without a cause, sleeping with different people, bed hopping throughout New York City and stuff like that. And now you're in East 23rd Street or whatever the hell it is. And then what to God that you stay there, And then you complain about me. Where was Angelo? No, where were you? You didn't work for me. I worked for you. I didn't come to your house to collect things. You went to our house, me and Mom's house, to collect things, to clothes, food, stuff. I have video proof. You don't got no video proof me collecting stuff from your house. I got video evidence you collecting stuff from. So where were you in my life? Where were you in Fernando's life when we needed you? Where were you? Nowhere to be found. And that's why, our mom didn't want you in the funeral. Our mom didn't want you in her funeral. She didn't. She said, if I die one day, I don't want Jeanette in the funeral. And I was in full obligation to keep that pact. And so I didn't call you, but she didn't want you there, Even though, like I said before, even though she wanted the picture of the 3 of us in her tomb, or in her, in her casket. But I said, no, I'm not going to put that, picture from Spain that she spent like hundreds of dollars to do that, in the casket. I'm going to save that for myself, and hopefully Fernando saved it, and, we'll have it, I got some pictures of that, on Facebook. So, I could, recreate it anew or make a big poster out of it or whatever the case may be. So, you were nowhere to be found in Mother's Day sometimes, in Christmas for her. Where were your presents? Where were your cards? Not every year. No, some years, yes, when you were talking to her. But, you're talking about me and my mother and this and that and all this stuff. Where were you at? That's the thing. Where was Jeanette Quinones? Nowhere to be found at all. And she was always bitching and whining and complaining about she never had any family. She never had any brothers. You chose the life of, of open rebellion against God. And some of your girls and some of your children are doing the same thing. going to jail and all this other stuff. Little Lewis going to jail. Tasha lying that she was dead. It's just something out of General Hospital. Something out of General Hospital. You can't make this stuff up. Because what goes around comes around. It came right back on your face. All the stuff you did to our mom, it came back in your face. Came back in your face. And don't tell me about this and that. Oh, everybody has arguments. But you taking our mom to court, unjustifiably so, false accusing, by the way, dropped the case. My mother showed up, and where were you? My mother had the court letter I think to her death. Until she died, she had the court letter. She had two things for the longest time. A knife of somebody who tried to kill her in the 1960s, I think. A big blade like this, and then she had your court letter to appear in court because you sued her or whatever it was. You know what I mean? You didn't even show up. You ugly rear end. You wasn't even near court to show up that day with Yolanda. That's Jenna Quinones though. A false accuser, but she don't look at her own life that she did nothing for us, nothing for God, and nothing for our mother except give problems. That's what she did. So I could go on and on and on and on. And she talks about people in one of my former jobs. Alpha Point is called now. It's not even called the New York City Industry for the Blind. They're ashamed of the word blind in their title. Saying Angelo's this and Angelo's that. And all of those guys mostly are blind. And I was guiding those people. To the train station to go home, from the train station to go to the job, in the job, guiding those people around the factory because it's so big you could ride a motorcycle in there, so big and stuff like that. And they weren't bitching and whining and complaining then about me. But now, out of sight, out of mind, I don't care. I have a new life here in the Philippines. I have a new life. Look at this. Look at that. That's the life I'm living right now. You understand what I'm saying? Trees, birds, roosters that are a pain in the rear, but still, I have my own store, I have my own house, and I praise the Lord for it. I praise God for it, man. I praise the Lord, for everything that I have. I have 2 children now, one yet to be born, but he's my child nevertheless, whatever happens. I have a wife. People at Alpha Point, sewing mops for 20 or 30 stinking years. What they got? What they have? They don't have nothing. Oh, Angelo this. Oh, and I don't like Angelo because he's always talking about the Bible. Good. Very good. I'm glad. That's why they don't like me, I'm glad. I'd rather they don't like me because of that than something else. You understand what I'm saying? But I have a life. I'm living chapter 2 of my life in the Philippines, in another country, because I had the guts to do it. Even Jeanette said that I couldn't do it. Me and Fernando couldn't do what you did. Me and Fernando couldn't do what you did. That means that you don't have the patience in your life to do what I did. So, there you go right there. It tells you everything. That means that I have the patience and you don't. You see? I have the character to do things like I'm doing now. You don't. You could even get the dialogue in a dialogue in a dark job. You can even get that. They didn't even want you. So, I mean, yeah, they hired me, though. I worked there for, 8 months because, I left. And that was 2012, right? The same year my mother died, So, and I'm glad the last year that I had in my life, hello, Becky. The last year I had in my life, hi. The last year I had in my life, come here, my love. Say hi to the people. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi. See, this is my niece. See, I have a family. Right, my love? Give me kissy. Give me kissy, daddy. Okay. So you go to the bathroom, CR? Dale. Go. You in the CR? Go. So, see, I have a life. I have a family. I had a family that I never had before for a long time. Since my mother died, I didn't have that big family well, actually, since a lot of people died, grandmothers died, and people moved, and uncles moved, and we didn't have that close-knit family we had for a long time. We just didn't have a close family anymore since our mother died. But even before that, it was splintered off. It's like Splinter Cell, man. It's like the video game or something. People started dying. People started moving. I mean, New York is a place that nobody likes to stay for a long time. it's not a place that people like to stay. Let's just face it. So anyway, now I have a family. I don't know how long I'm gonna live here. I don't even know how long I'm gonna live. I could die this year. This year could be my last year, but at least, I begot 2 children. I have a wife. I'm married. I'm doing it the right way because I'm married. I have a license. I have a license to love. You know what I'm saying? Jeanette never got married in her damn life. I just said she don't know no submission. She can't submit to a man. She can't submit to God. How she's gonna submit to a man? How she's gonna do that? She's proven by the way she lives that she's not worthy to even be compared to somebody like her brother, like me, or even like Fernando. To tell you the truth. Take care, guys. Bye bye now.